go. So angle types. Angle types, hopefully, fingers crossed, is our review. So let's do some quick definitions. We have 4 main angle types. 4 main categories of angles. If I was going to say, like show you a picture or numbers down here, you could then classify them, name them, right? Acute angles are angles that measure between 0 degrees and 90 degrees. It does not include 90 degrees. It includes 89.9999999.
What?
But it does not include 90. It does not include 0. It includes 0.001. If I was going to write this algebraically, I would put the number 0. I would put an inequality. I would put X, and I would put 90. I'm not putting the line underneath, because the line underneath means it could equal it. This means it's between it. It has to be inside that range. So if we talked about acute angles are between 0 and 90, raise your hand who can tell me about obtuse angles. Brooke, tell me about obtuse angles.
They're bigger than 90.
Okay. Just everything greater than 90?
And also not 180.
Correct. So it's between 90 degrees and what's the other one? 180 degrees. Good. So if I was going to write that algebraically, I could say I would say X is greater than 90, but X is also less than 180. Ooh, I'll put my degree signs. So these are, there are lots of different types of acute angles. They could look really different, right?
Yeah.
They're all going to have in common that acute angles are the quote-unquote little angles, right?
Yeah.
And then, but there's a different variety of acute angles. Then we have obtuse angles. And obtuse angles, there are a wide variety of obtuse angles, but they all fall into that certain range. They're the big angles, right? Then we have right angles, and right angles are exact. What are they? 90 degrees. They measure 90 degrees. So X equals 90, or Y, or whatever you want to call it, right? It has to be perfectly 90 degrees. Is there something that shows me that something could be 90 degrees?
The little box thingy.
It might have a little box in it. It might have a little box inside of it. Good. A right angle. And then we have straight angles. And straight angles, what do they measure? They measure exactly, perfect, 180 degrees. It is exactly 180 degrees. What is a straight angle? What does it look like? Yeah, it's a line. Mm-hmm. Yep, it extends infinitely, so it has arrows on the ends. Now, anything greater than 180, which is not on here, which we don't really talk a whole lot about in this unit, but you may be remembering it. It's called a reflex
Oh, what?
with an X. And a reflex is between 180 degrees and 360 degrees. It's on the opposite side of an angle. So like if I had an obtuse angle, do you agree that this is obtuse?
Yeah.
Right? Like right here is obtuse. The reflex is the outside of it.
Oh.
It's the other part that we don't really measure or talk about. We don't do a whole lot of reflexes, but just so that it's there in your brain.
That's a full circle.
All right. Here's some practice. You are just labeling. Is it acute, obtuse, right, or straight? I get it. Sometimes middle schoolers want to take the easiest route ever known. If you can only bring yourself to write the letter A for acute, and R for right, and O for obtuse, and S for straight, you'll be okay. You gotta know though that it's not an A angle, it's an acute angle. You have to know that there's no such thing as an O angle. It's obtuse. So here we go. 90 degrees, what kind of angle is it? R, right. 177 degrees, what kind of angle is it? O, obtuse. Do you see what we're doing? 53 is acute. You're going to keep going.